Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Kevin, and I help people to communicate better and to connect deeper in their relationships. And today I want to talk about how to reconnect with a disconnected man. So, if you are in a relationship with a man, whether you're married, whether you're living together, whether you're just in a committed relationship, and he's become distant, disconnected, kind of disengaged, and you just kind of feel like you're growing apart instead of growing together, then this video will help you out. I'm going to share three things with you, three kind of strategies to help you to reconnect in your relationship. Okay, so the first thing is to speak his language. Now, what do I mean when I say speak his language? Well, when you think about it, right, communication problems are like one of the biggest obstacles in all relationships. There are so many couples. I talk to a lot of women. I get messages constantly from women who are telling me that they need to understand or need to know how to communicate. They keep talking about, we need to communicate more. We don't communicate. And, this is kind of the big thing. So what I want to talk about here, though, it's not so much the words that we speak, because most communication in relationships is not done with words. It's done in other ways, and that's what I'm calling language. So, when it comes to, your man and trying to reconnect with him, it's very important. It's critical that you understand and you speak his language. You have to identify how it is that he really expresses himself to you. And, for example, there's so many different ways. So, but, it could be maybe that his way that he expresses like love and appreciation is by doing things. Maybe he does things around the house. Maybe he kind of, fixes things or just, does certain things. Or, it could be something other. Maybe it's something like physical touch, where he likes to hug or maybe, kisses, things like that. I don't know if a lot of men really do that, but these are just examples. And there's many different ways and types of language and all that. When you look at things like body language, facial expressions, his reactions, things like that. But really it comes down to like one of the most important things is to be able to observe it, watch him, get to know him, think about that the ways that he expresses himself, even if to you they might not seem like a big deal, but to him it might be like his main language. So that's the first thing, is really to identify and speak his language. Because once you figure that out, when you've got kind of his main language that he communicates in, you can speak that back to him. So if it's by doing things or whatever it might be, you can speak that language to him. And what that'll do when you're speaking his language, because he'll get it, it'll connect with him, and that's one way that can really help you reconnect. So identify and speak his language. Okay, now the second thing is to get away from distractions. And there's so many distractions, especially at home. We're just completely surrounded by TV. We're completely surrounded by the kids, if you have kids. We are surrounded by cell phones, right? Social media, emailing, phone calls, Facebook and Instagram, and, all these different distractions that we have. And so it's nice to be able to, if you want to reconnect, you got to like push those distractions out, even if it's just for a while. It doesn't mean like it's got to be a constant thing, but it's having some regular time away where you're free from all those distractions. Because, when those distractions are there, it's hard to connect, right? When that stuff's kind of going on. So really, being, diligent about getting away from the distractions. So the next strategy then is if we're getting away from distractions, then you want to choose some interactive activities, right? Interactive activities, which basically means it's things where you're interacting with each other, right? So for example, if you have time together, you don't want to go to a movie if you're trying to reconnect, right? Because again, that's like a distraction. And when you're watching a movie, you're not having to interact with each other. Same thing for like, a sporting event, baseball game, football game, hockey games, things like that. So, he may love sports, but if you're trying to reconnect with him, you don't want to be going there where all your attention is going to be on what's happening in the game, what's happening, on the movie screen, things like that. So instead, you want to have some time where you're doing something together where you interact, right? Whether it's just going for a freaking walk. It could be as simple as that, going for a walk. It could be, going on a damn picnic. It could be, just going out to a beach, spending time together. It could just be playing a game together, really. But, it really doesn't matter what, as long as there's an environment there, an activity there where you really have to interact. And, when you choose that, that's going to lead to the next one. So then the next strategy, now, we've gotten away from distractions. We're choosing an interactive activity. Now, what we want to do is make sure that it's fun, right? So it's an interactive activity that's fun for him. Because if it's something that he really does not want to do, it's going to be tough to connect, and especially with, I think with most men, because they tend to be kind of stuck in their ways, a little more difficult to kind of break through. Women, I think, potentially are a little more open to trying new things and all that. This doesn't categorize every single person. Your man might be different. I might be completely off on that, but I'm just speaking like generally, in terms of how most men tend to be. So if you can make it something enjoyable, something that you think he would have fun with or that he would kind of like, that's even better, because hell, when you have fun doing something and, you have a good time, the mood is kind of lightened, you're more laid back, right? You're not like defensive. His walls aren't going to be up because he doesn't really like what he's doing. He's not going to be put off by it. He's going to just kind of, feel more comfortable, more relaxed, and, having a good time. And that's really a key to being able to connect with each other. And then finally, the last one is to make sure that whatever you choose, the activity, it's interactive, it's fun, but it keeps him comfortable, right? So keeping him comfortable. Now, I know it's very popular in, motivational speakers and motivational kind of quotes and self-help and personal development to talk about how important it is to go outside your comfort zone, right? And how important it is to do that. And everything's about, getting out of your comfort zone. And in those types of purposes, yeah, that might be helpful. But when it comes to reconnecting with your man, that's something that you don't want to do. Because when you push him out of his comfort zone, what happens is, in his mind, it kind of creates this, he puts up wall. It's more of like, he's not going to be certain of what's happening. It's unfamiliar, it's uncomfortable, and when you get put in that kind of a situation, it's kind of like the guard goes up, right? The defenses go up. And so now, right, his mind's kind of there, what is this? What's going on? He's trying to figure all that out, and he's not going to be very, into, opening up and connecting and doing all that. So what you really want to do is, choose something that he'd be comfortable with, even if it's something he's never done before, because how he is, his personality, things that he'll tend to like or won't like, wants to do, doesn't want to do. So do your best to choose something that will keep him comfortable, because if you keep him comfortable, it's a lot easier for him to open up, relax, have a good time, and connect with you. And that's it. Those are just some kind of simple things, strategies, tips, things that you can do to reconnect when you've lost your connection with your man. And, none of it's rocket science, but, and you don't have to do all of these at once. So, just pick one thing, maybe two of them, try them out, see how it works. Work with them, though. If it maybe doesn't work at all the first time, or maybe it works a little, it started to, but it wasn't all right there, don't give up on it, right? Keep working it, because a lot of this stuff, it's not a miracle overnight, fix it. It's not a quick fix. It takes time, right? When you've lost that connection, it takes a little bit of time to build it back up. So what you're looking for is not to go from disconnected to connected overnight like that, but to see some progress being made. That, as the time goes by, the days go by, the weeks go by, that you can see and you can feel that you're starting to get closer together, right? Things are improving in your relationship, your connection, your communication, all that stuff starts to get better. And if you're making progress, you're on the right track. So that's it for me today. I hope that this helped you out. I hope, all of it did or some of it did. But let me know your thoughts, and let me know if you have any questions or whatever. Type them in down below. And I'm going to try and beat this rain here. It's looming, clouds are looming overhead, so I'm going to take off now. I'll talk to you next time. In the meantime, have faith, follow your heart, trust yourself, and I'll talk to you soon.